Today's video is brought to you by Bespoke Post. Hey brother! Guys, there is no doubt that Harry is a gifted fighter of the dark arts, and some of this is due to the fact that he has this unique relationship with Voldemort, but not all of it. For example, the Patronus that Harry is able to cast is one of the most impressive feats that we see from him throughout the entire series, and that's all him. And although we don't see all of these three feats together, he is the only wizard who is able to resist or survive all three of the unforgivable curses. And obviously the one that he is most famous for is surviving the Avada Kedavra curse when he was a baby and again at 17 years old. However, and not to take away from Harry's extreme bravery in both of these instances, he is still being protected by his mother's love in both cases. Meaning, bravery or not, the Avada Kedavra curse was not going to kill him, at least as long as it's coming from Voldemort. And I'm not sure Harry even knew that the second time, so still. He is also tortured by the Cruciatus curse on several occasions and eventually is able to withstand it without feeling any pain at all. It's kind of hard to say exactly how he does this. It's right after he's come back from the dead and Voldemort is casting the spell on what he believes to be his dead body. And we know that Harry's sacrifice going into the woods to be killed is now protecting all of the members of Dumbledore's army and the Order of the Phoenix back at the Battle of Hogwarts from any spells that Voldemort casts against them. So it's presumed that this same protection, his sacrifice, is also protecting him in that situation. Although according to Wikipedia, it's because the Elder Wand just didn't want to harm its true master. But personally, I don't buy that because just literally moments ago, it tried to kill him. Although was it the accepting of that death that made him the Master of Death? And it's not until after that.
No, it's because he took the wand from Draco, Ben.
No, it isn't! Such a dumb explanation. If you're thinking about leaving a comment that says, no, it's because Harry took the wand from Draco in a completely separate incident, just stop. Don't do it. Either way, what I'm trying to really get to the bottom of here and really kind of point out is Harry's penchant and ability to resist the dark arts, most specifically when it comes to the Imperius Curse. Because, in case you can't remember, he literally does this on his first try. Stops literally one of the most powerful curses in the entire wizarding world. One of three that sends you to a lifetime in Azkaban just for casting. Unforgivable. And it was cast by a very powerful dark wizard, and he resists it right away. And there's no dumb like Elder Wand or mom dying, that one's not dumb, explanation as to how this happens. Today, I want to figure out why and how Harry is able to resist the Imperius Curse on his very first try. Guys, before we dive on in, we need to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a great subscription service that provides a monthly box of awesome. Each month, they provide a selection of boxes for you to choose from, ranging from goods in the categories of grooming, cooking tools, outdoor gear, home goods, or great gadgets for everyday carry. My latest box is one of their classics. It's called the Frontier, and it comes with a handful of highly useful and even higher quality everyday carry objects, including a super high quality notebook, a folding knife, a heavy duty steel bottle opener, and your choice between a classic fountain pen, which, let's face it, there is nothing classier than writing a letter with a true blue fountain pen. Or the Grafton pen, a high quality weighted gel pen that I can tell you I personally go to great lengths to make sure I do not lose.
Whoa, you talking about Bespoke in here?
Whoa! Actually made the hair on the back of my neck stand up a little bit. I was not expecting you to come in. This box is truly a great first box if you're trying to figure out what to start with, and it also makes a really good option as a gift to wrap and give to somebody if you're going to gift them this service. Personally, I've actually used Bespoke Post both ways. I've personally used it as like a service for myself, and I've gifted it to a variety of friends and family. The gifting part is cool because you could really go either way with it, like give them the reins and let them choose, choose if they're kind of hard to shop for, or you just get to go and pick something really cool to send them each month. As for my next box, I know that I'm looking forward to what they call the Siphon. I hear it works extremely well with your favorite coffee. Guys, get 20% off your first monthly box when you go to boxofawesome.com and use promo code SUPER at checkout. Again, that is 20% off when you go to boxofawesome.com, promo code SUPER at checkout. Link is in the description down below. Okay, so in case you need a refresher, we're going back to Goblet of Fire when Moody/Crouch is casting the Imperius Curse on the members of his classroom. He makes Lavender Brown act like a squirrel. He has Neville do gymnastics, but Harry resists it. Perfectly, no, but still. Now, two explanations immediately come to mind on how Harry is able to resist this particular curse. And the first is just that Harry is the chosen one.
I am the chosen one. Okay, sorry.
As Moody/Crouch points out in this exact same lesson, Harry is the only one to ever resist the killing curse. Maybe this boy is just uniquely and innately capable of resisting the dark arts, which I do think is an accolade that Harry can claim. He is good in his defense against the dark arts, and it's not just because he vanquishes the Dark Lords and hunts down Horcruxes and, unites the Deathly Hallows, but simply just because he's drawn to it, just in the same way that you may have been top of your class in English or history or math. It's just the topic that kind of comes naturally to him. So for clarity, yes, Harry is the top of his class in defense against the dark arts, but I still don't think that is what was giving him the edge in resisting the Imperius Curse. I mean, for one, Harry doesn't cast a perfect Patronus on his first try, and he definitely doesn't master occlumency at the word go. And again, he didn't resist the killing curse due to his own prowess. So what else? Well, it's possible that because he's just in a classroom setting, that Crouch is just literally going easy on him in this particular instance. But to what end? Certainly he's not actually trying to help Harry defend himself against Voldemort. And when you come back and reread this section when you know it's a Death Eater, it reads differently. I'm almost convinced that the only reason he's doing this at all is literally just his own personal enjoyment, getting to put the students under the Imperius Curse. And I don't think for an instant he was expecting Harry to be able to throw off the curse. And I think once he does, he sort of is forced to respond accordingly. And aside from that, even if there was something specific about the circumstance under which Moody was putting the spell onto Harry in the classroom setting, even if that was not as intense as it could be in its most evil way, Voldemort still uses it on Harry later, and Harry still resists it, and Voldemort is definitely not holding back. Another popular idea is that Harry actually has assistance in fighting off the curse, and that's why he is uniquely able to do it in the lesson. When the sensation of being under the curse is cast over him, we know that there is another voice inside of Harry's head that is arguing with the commands being given to him by Barty Crouch/Moody. Jump onto the desk. Why though? Stupid thing to do, really. Jump onto the desk. No, I don't think I will, thanks. No, I really don't want to. Jump now! I don't know about you guys, but I was completely compelled. So again, on your first pass of the story, you won't know this yet, but we will eventually learn that Harry does in fact have a small piece of Voldemort living inside of himself. A piece of soul that we do in fact know gives Harry unique abilities, not the least of which is his ability to talk to snakes or eventually literally transport into the mind of Voldemort himself. So one theory suggests that the voice that we're seeing converse with Barty Crouch Jr./Moody is literally that piece of Voldemort's soul helping Harry resist the curse. And at first glance, that explanation seems like it could work. I mean, after all, Voldemort is known to be one of the greatest occlumens of all time. And because occlumency is the ability to fight off attacks of the mind, this feels like it would be a pretty solid fit. But personally, I don't love this explanation. For one, Harry is lousy at occlumency, and very proficient at resisting the Imperius Curse. Which also makes me feel like occlumency is not a skill necessary in order to resist the Imperius Curse, which makes sense because Snape has such easy access to Harry's mind during their lessons. The other reason why I don't like this explanation is because it relies on that piece of Voldemort's soul being pretty active and well developed. Enough so to not only be aware of Harry's surroundings, but to also be helping him resist this curse. But take for example that kind of like gross baby looking thing that Harry encounters in King's Cross. That's not the piece of Voldemort's soul that was living inside of Harry. That's Voldemort's soul. That's Soul Prime. And that's the state that he returns to after Harry defeats him. He's so shredded and mangled that he's just stuck in limbo forever, which personally I like because I think death would have been too good for him, especially as it's brought to us in the world of Harry Potter.
Does it hurt? Dying.
Quicker than falling asleep.
In any case, that's the condition that like full Voldemort is in, and I can't imagine that the piece living inside of Harry is any better. Harry's not spending time with it. He's not like Quirrell or Tom Riddle in the Diary. Like, that piece of soul is heavily neglected. So certainly not capable of fighting off dark magic or arguing with a powerful Death Eater like Barty Crouch. On top of that, like we said earlier, Voldemort Prime himself later uses the Imperius Curse on Harry, and if it's the piece of Voldemort's soul that's helping Harry, surely it wouldn't go against the wishes of Voldy Prime.
We're on the same team!
So again, what is it about Harry himself that allows him to fight off this curse? How is a 14-year-old boy fighting off one of the most dangerous curses in the world? I believe that there is still a skill that we have not yet talked about that Harry possesses and he has been training for his entire life. And that is that Harry is never willing to blindly follow a voice of authority. Harry's defiance, especially as it relates to the morality of any authority figure, is kind of his secret weapon. This training, if you will, would have started the moment he was taken in by the Dursleys, where Harry, someone who has absolutely no point of reference, is still able to readily recognize that Dudley is being treated much better than he is. Dudley himself is kind of an authority figure in Harry's life. He's much bigger and is able to sway the other children of his class to effectively use him as a punching bag. Both of these are great examples very early on that illustrate the idea that just because you are in charge does not mean you're right. Harry also stands up to the likes of Draco Malfoy on his very first day in the wizarding world after having spent no more than a train ride in this brand new environment. Granted, Harry did meet him earlier at Madame Malkin's, but Harry is still a huge fish out of water here. I mean, just for a second, try to imagine how hard it would be for an 11-year-old who has never had a friend reject the hand of friendship from someone like Malfoy.
I think I can tell the wrong sort for myself, thanks.
I mean, do you see that slicked back blonde hair? Do you see how he's standing at the top of the stairs? Never underestimate the stairs. But even past that, Harry finds himself at Hogwarts, the first ever place that's felt like home to him, and he is consistently breaking rules that could literally get him expelled from, again, the only place that has ever felt like home to him. All in the name, consistently, of protecting the school, or defeating Voldemort, or meeting Malfoy in the middle of the night for a duel. All of these things are equally threatening and worthy of expulsion. But then again, if we fast forward back to Goblet of Fire, we find Harry in the graveyard seriously outgunned by not only a group of Death Eaters, but quite literally the most powerful dark wizard there ever was. And despite that fact, Harry steps out to duel Voldemort despite the fact he knows he possesses no magic that could possibly take him. Or if you fast forward even further down the line and you've got Rufus Scrimgeour, who's the literal minister for magic, asking Harry for help. In this case, it's not even malicious. He's literally just trying to boost the morale of the wizarding population. But Harry says, no, I'm sorry, I disagree with your methods. I will not help. The point is, Harry literally spends basically every moment of his life defying untrustworthy authority figures, rarely accepting an unjust status quo because That's just the way things are. And that's not to say that Harry is incapable of listening to anyone, it just means that establishing that trust first is key. And I think it's this very reason that Harry is so good at resisting the Imperius Curse. Because it requires you to immediately question the extremely inviting, almost blissful voice in the back of your head insisting you to do something. And these moments may seem so obvious when we just so believe that whatever Harry is doing is the right thing. But in reality, these would be very challenging moments, standing up to someone who has way more power than you do. But again, it goes back to Harry's secret weapon. He's not easily manipulated by power. And I think this is unique to his classmates who find it easy to listen to the voice and say, well, you're the teacher, the minister for magic, the newspaper, you must be right. You have a trusted position, so I should trust you. And out here in the real world, it can be immensely difficult to know when to challenge those trusted positions. But Harry has not walked down that road. He has learned to question authority, and as Dumbledore so eloquently states,
you simply ask, is a thing right in itself? If it is, you do it no matter the cost.
And I know that Dumbledore is talking to Newt here, but it is still the exact same quality. Harry is also always asking, is a thing right? And personally, I don't think it's any coincidence that the two students that Dumbledore connected with so much share this quality. And personally, I love this explanation because I think it proves that strength of character can be just as powerful as powerful magic. And I also think that this is a characteristic that is shared by many of our most beloved characters. I mean, we have Dobby, who stands up to his masters, the Malfoys. We have Arthur Weasley, who stands up to Lucius Malfoy. We have Professor McGonagall, who is no doubt more powerful magically, but still stands up to Professor Umbridge in the name of the safety of her students. Even Neville stands up to the Golden Trio when they go in hunt of the Philosopher's Stone. And there you go, guys. That is our explanation as to why Harry is just so uniquely capable of resisting the Imperius Curse. For our question of the day, what do you think? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the towel section down below. But guys, as always, thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like some more Harry Potter action from us, you can check out this video right here to see how the Philosopher's Stone is created. Otherwise, guys, until next time, bye.